Today, I'm going to share with you 14 ways to generate free traffic to your website. These are some of the exact techniques that I've used to generate traffic to my website when I was starting out in business. What I'm about to share with you are actual techniques that really work, and if you use them, will help you get traffic to your website today. Hi, I'm Victor Thomas, owner of Thomas Digital, and I help small businesses with their websites and marketing. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you have a small business, I share with you marketing tips and tricks that you won't find anywhere else. When I was starting out in business, I was really frustrated. I had a really strong desire to help people with their business and help them with their websites, but I had no leads, no prospects, and no customers. Worst of all, I woke up every single day not knowing what I could do to actually drum up some business. I tried a bunch of different things, and most of them didn't work at all. But some of them did, and I'm about to share them with you today. So let's get started. Number one, content writing on your website. So this is the one I use. This is where I still get all of my traffic today. I will tell you a couple things. Essentially what we're talking about here is blogging and SEO. It's something that is essentially a long-term play. You're not going to get traffic to your website today or in the next week or maybe even the next month. But it's something that if you do today, it will help you years into the future. To this day, my number one article I wrote 7 years ago, and it's still on the top of page 1 for the keyword website designer. So it's something that if you just put some time into it, it will definitely pay off. But just write content for your website and try and write really good, valuable content at least once a week. This is a bit of a roundup video where I'm just going through the different things that you can do, but I've done specific videos on the ultimate blog formula that you can write or SEO techniques, but write content on your site. That's something that you can do and should do. It costs you no money, and that will one day pay off and bring you lots of traffic. One thing I should mention is there's a great book I would recommend called They Ask, You Answer. It kind of walks you through everything you need to know to write great content on your site. And if you just follow the advice, it will help you out a ton. Number 2, content writing for other people's websites. So one of the problems when you're starting out is you probably just don't have a lot of people coming to your website in the first place. So writing content there isn't exactly going to get a lot of eyeballs. But other people do have websites and they do have traffic, and what they need is just more content. So if you can come up with a clever idea or a clever article and share it there, and essentially you write the article on other people's websites for free, in exchange you get that attention, you get that exposure, you get people reading the article, you also get links back to your site which help out a lot. So what you should do is find other websites in your industry or niche and then offer to write free content for them, and essentially that's it. You're just saying, I'd love to write an article, here's 4 or 5 ideas, and if they say yes, great. And it'll essentially put your name out there and build links and traffic back to your website. Number 3, podcast interviews. So essentially everyone has a podcast these days. There's a lot of people who are out there, and essentially they're looking for content. They're looking for people to interview. And if you have an interesting story, an interesting angle, tips, techniques, something of value that you can share with people, then you can be interviewed by these podcasters. And in exchange, you're essentially getting your name out there. You're on their platform. They're going to share their information with other people on their social media list. You're going to get a link back to your website. So it's a great way of kind of building your reputation via the platform that other people have created. Number 4, QUORA. So if you've never heard of QUORA, it's a question and answer website. Essentially, users will write their questions about any kind of topic, and then experts will respond to those questions, and then all the users will upvote or downvote the question responses on which one they found the most valuable. So if you're a real expert or you have any kind of knowledge that you can help with people, just answer kind of the most common questions that are there. And if you really give a thoughtful, intelligent answer, you can become kind of an influencer within that platform. And it really does build a lot of traffic to people's websites. Number 5, Twitter. So Twitter is an interesting tool. Basically what it allows you to do is you can use search.twitter.com and then essentially find people looking for the service that you're offering. A lot of time people will just tweet like, hey, I'm looking for a graphic designer, or hey, I'm looking for someone who can mow my lawn, or whatever it is, the service that you're offering. There's people kind of just shouting out saying, I need help with it. So if you just go to search.twitter.com, look through it all and find the people kind of looking for the thing that you do, you can literally reach out to them directly based on them just saying that they need help with something. Number 6, HARO. If you've never heard of it, HARO is a website called Help a Reporter Out. It started as just an email list, and essentially what it is, it's people who are writing news stories kind of need sources for their articles. So journalists who are looking to interview people for a story that they're covering will say, hey, I need someone in this industry who's an expert about this, and I'm writing an article like today, can you be interviewed for it? And so that's what HARO is. You can just kind of mention the topics that you're interested in, being a part of, your expertise or anything like that. And it will send you kind of a daily list of like, hey, here are a bunch of journalists who are willing to interview you for that topic. And so if you get interviewed, you get a link back to your website, which actually helps quite a bit. You get your name out there. You get to feature your name as being part of that publication or article. So it does a ton of things to help expose you and your brand to a bunch of people. So HARO, Help a Reporter Out. Number 7, cold direct email. So I don't know about you, I don't generally love the idea of cold outreach, definitely cold calling. I would never want to do that. But cold email, I'll tell you, we've tried it ourselves and we've had some success with it. It isn't easy. It isn't necessarily fun, but it can and it does work. So essentially with cold email, what you're doing is you're trying to compile a list of people that you think would be a candidate for your product or service. And then essentially you're researching them, you're reaching out directly to them via email. And when you contact them, you want to be very simple, very specific. Imagine you were like writing to one person and you were expecting a response, and that you weren't, you're not going to write a novel, right? It's got to be 2-3 sentences just to see enough that they'll even respond, and then only engage with them in a little bit at a time. Otherwise, it won't work at all. Number 8, Facebook groups. So Facebook groups are a great place where people who are of like mind or similar interests kind of join together. It has a really great community atmosphere to it. And so, what you do is you find a group that's in a topic or kind of a shoulder topic to the area that you cover, and essentially become a person who comments and leaves posts and is adding value. You're not really kind of pushy or spammy or anything like that. And then once you kind of get to know people within the group, you start friending those people. And then as they accept your friendship, you kind of reach out to them in like a direct message fashion and say, hey, listen, I'm offering this service. Are you interested? You kind of start with a low barrier to entry kind of offer and reach out to them that way. Number 9, LinkedIn outreach. So LinkedIn is a little bit different than Facebook in the sense that you're not really joining a group. Instead, what you're doing is searching for kind of people, your ideal candidate or ideal prospect, and then essentially you're friending them on LinkedIn. And then once they accept your friendship, you can reach out and kind of start with a very simple, hey, thanks for friending me. Are you looking for this? And try and keep your communication very short and to the point. And then another way that you can use LinkedIn is like once they've accepted your friendship, you can post on a daily basis, become an authority in that sphere, kind of have people rely on you as an expert in your industry. And so when they're ready to reach out to you, they can do that as well. So it kind of serves 2 functions at the same time. Number 10, handwritten notes. So this has kind of been my secret weapon. Once upon a time, a long time ago, I used to sell real estate. And when I was starting out, I had like no idea how to get business. And so what I started doing was I started writing people handwritten notes. And what's great about handwritten notes is basically, when's the last time you've received like a handwritten note in the mail? Like probably almost never, right? So when people receive it, it's kind of a big deal. So essentially, I got like a 20% response rate from my messages, from my mail. And people would call me back and I got great responses. So if you have the time, it takes kind of effort to write out these handwritten notes. I can promise you that it does have a very good response rate, and we're just talking about like a regular, get some stationery with your name, white card, regular white envelope, put a real stamp on it, blue pen, all that stuff, and you should see good results because it has with me. Number 11, Craigslist. So when I was starting out in my business, I used Craigslist all the time. That was like my initial source of traffic. And so there's like good things and bad things with Craigslist. The good part is like you can really find people there. There's a lot of people who go to Craigslist. So if you're kind of posting there often and putting like a lot of ads out there, you will get results and you will get people kind of contacting you. The not so great news is like the clients might not be the best. Typically they're kind of price hunting and they're kind of lower level in terms of like value, and you're just not getting the highest level of people that you might want to get in terms of like they're just looking for a good deal. With that being said, it's a good place to start, especially if you're starting out in business. Number 12, YouTube. So YouTube is a great place to kind of put your name out there, get your name out there, build an audience, but it's also a great place where other people who already have their audience, you can connect with them as well. And that's simply done through commenting. So you find someone who's already an authority or leader in the industry that you're wanting to be a part of, and you just find their most popular videos or their newest videos, and you write kind of intelligent, thoughtful, funny, provocative comments within their comment threads. And people will often respond, look back at your profile, like it, that kind of thing, and that will all kind of start generating traffic and leads towards your site as well. So YouTube's another place where you can go and kind of do stuff on a daily basis to kind of get your name out there. Number 13, flyers. So some of the best techniques are the old school ones that just kind of no one is really talking about or thinking about. And flyers are a great one as well. When I was starting out in business, I would go to all the different coffee shops, put my flyer up there, and I really did get leads in business, just from good old-fashioned flyers. In fact, here's a cool one that I saw a few years back for a software company. I believe it was a cloud storage company. And it kind of, at first you're like, I'm not sure really what this is. It looks like someone's lost their hard drive, but it turns out that it's actually an ad for a software storage business at the time. So flyers are another good way to get people to come to your website. Number 14, warm emails. So a warm email is when you're emailing someone that you do know or you kind of know. They might be an acquaintance or just someone you know very casually, but you do have some kind of connection with them. And so rather than trying to sell your service directly to them, all you're doing is you're saying, hey, what's going on? And then you have some kind of special offer or some kind of thing you're announcing, and you just say, hey, do you know anyone who might be interested? And keep it really simple, just as simple as that. And I can promise you this technique definitely works. A few years back, I was chairing a celebrity sports auction for a charity I belong to, and my big problem was I don't know any celebrities and I don't even know that much about sports. But I just emailed my Rolodex and I said, do you know any celebrities? And one guy was like, I don't know anyone, but I know a guy who knows someone. And I ended up getting Barry Bonds to attend my celebrity sports auction. So I promise you this technique works. So there you have it. Those are 14 ways to generate free traffic to your website right now. Now the truth is I can share with you 100 more ways to generate traffic to your website. And the thing is, you'll never know which one is the right one for you. So what you need to do is just kind of try a bunch of stuff and see what works. And then essentially just double down and double down again when you find something that does work. That's really what I did with my own business. When I was starting out, I was doing article writing, I was content writing, I was doing Craigslist, I was doing handwritten notes, whatever worked. But what ended up building traction over time was the content writing and the SEO, and that's essentially where I get most of my traffic today. So what do you think? Which traffic method are you going to use in your own business? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, and I'll see you in the next video.